Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. Let me ask you a question. You have any clients that are non-compliant, particularly with their nutrition and their meal planning? I mean, there's non-compliance in other ways, right? They always show up late. They don't behave themselves during workouts, right? So there's non-compliance in these other ways. Uh, they don't do cardio on their off days. That's non-compliance as well, just so you know. But it's the nutrition and it's the meal planning component of their entire lifestyle modifications that we're looking for, right? And if they are non-compliant from the nutrition or the meal planning, their eating perspective, they're simply not going to get the results that you both are looking for and they're paying for. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today in this video. There's three things that I've always looked at when it comes to why. Now, by the way, I try to ensure that I get all of these three things taken care of even before we start the process of training. But you know, as we go through the training process, clients will become less than motivated, less than compliant. And it's probably one of these three things. Now, like I say, just because you put these three things in place and you start it right from the beginning doesn't mean they're going to follow through throughout the time they're training with you. Okay, particularly after a couple of months of training, perhaps even longer. Here's another thing to keep in mind. Just because you help them and just because you give them the meal plan, just because you try to motivate, just because you follow up with certain things, accountability, these things, doesn't mean they're always going to be compliant. Look, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Now, we try to do as much as we can, right? As trainers, try to do as much as we can to help motivate an individual to realize that there is a issue or a problem, whatever you want to call it, that requires resolution. I'm the resolution for that individual. I am the resolution. I am the trainer. You're paying me money to help you to resolve this issue. What's the issue? I got too much body fat on my body, right? I got too much weight. I got too much this. My blood pressure is whatever the issue is. My goal as a trainer is to help you resolve that issue. And in order to resolve the issue, we need to do A, B, C, and D. And in the case of losing body fat, by the way, blood pressure, all these other issues, clinical issues as well, it's probably going to be your nutrition because that's where most people struggle with, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to kind of look at those things. And that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to talk about these three main things that you ought to keep in mind. Now, by the way, those things that we're going to talk about, you get them done right at the very beginning of your training with clients. You really do. It's just that as time goes on, you know, it becomes a little bit more of a challenge for you and the client. Keep in mind, whether you do one-on-one training, whether you do small group training, or whether even on the line training, you've got to have all these in place. See, a lot of folks, what they'll tell me is they're like, well, I'm doing online training. And I go, well, that's great. But my clients they're not compliant and they're not following their meal plan. And my question is the same question I ask somebody doing one-on-one training, somebody doing, and this is of course, face-to-face, small group training. Are you doing these three things, or have you solidified these three issues? And have you been holding your client accountable for these issues? By the way, accountability itself is one of those three things. But let's go ahead. I want to go over this with you so you understand that for the most part, if you can dial in some of these basic concepts, these three things, your chances of getting your clients to be motivated enough to actually follow through on eating the way they're supposed to be eating, following their meal plan, getting their nutrition on point, the better your chances of that happening. It is not a guarantee. Yes. Okay. So I'll be honest with you. Not every client that I have taken on has followed through with their meal plan. Now, I've had clients, by the way, just so you know, I've had clients that have trained with me for 1 year, 2 years. I've had clients for 3 years, one-on-one training clients, for instance, that they trained with me on the regular, but it didn't matter what I did short of electrocuting them with a cattle prod. Short of doing that, they simply did not follow the meal plan. And there's only, look, it's just like with training itself. There's only so much you can do to help motivate people. At some point, they're simply going to follow through or they're not. But you want to make sure you have done everything possible to help them with their lifestyle modification change. So dealing with meal plan, nutrition, non-compliance. I will say this, when I talk to trainers, the first thing, this is number one, the first thing is, did you set very clear goals? Did you ensure that your clients know exactly what their expectations are and then what your expectations are with them? So first up is goals. Do they even have goals? Make the goals, and you know the SMART acrostic, SMART. Normally, it's the S and the M in the SMART acrostic that's critical. Specific and measurable. 25 pounds in whatever, 3 months. 25 pounds of fat loss. 2 to 3 pounds of fat loss per week. Something like that. Be very, very specific. When do you do it? At the very beginning of when you're dealing with your clients, not 3 months into it. And now you got to, oh, no. Before I even have you lift one weight, before I even start any type of meal planning prep with a client, these are the goals. You tell me what you want to do, because again, in order to resolve that issue, right, that problem that they have, they came to you for a reason. Man, I really need to lose 30 pounds. I really need to lose 50 pounds. And my answer to that is, yeah, you do. And I'm here to help you resolve that. But you have to you got to follow the nutritional meal plan. Okay. So did you set the goals correctly? Make sure that if you did not, then you get right back on track with them and set some goals. Is it 20 pounds of fat loss? Is it 30? Is it 40? And give a time frame. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. You'll have clients that literally need to lose 100 pounds. Okay. And if you have those people, you better be very clear about this. A year is a long time, but a year is going to go by no matter what. But a year is a long time. But that's how much time it takes for some people to lose 50, 60, 70, upwards of 100 pounds or more. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The goals are critical. And then if you have to do mini goals, sub goals within that, then absolutely. But at least you have something specific and measurable. So that's the first one, right? First of the 3 things. Number 1 is you've got to have goals set. I'm just telling you, I don't care who they are, what their personality type, it doesn't matter. You've got to have something written on paper, something that you and your client can go back to and look at. I don't care if you're online, one-on-one, small group. Number 2, how many of you are teaching and educating your clients on how to achieve the goal? It's not just you training with them 2 or 3 days a week. That doesn't do it, folks. You've got to teach and educate them how to eat. I know it sounds crazy, but I literally, by the way, not the chewing part. Most people have no issue with that, the chewing and the swallowing. But are you teaching them and educating them how to do meal prep? Come on. Meal prep is critical. It is at the heart, in one sense, it's at the very heart of understanding how to eat in a very effective fat loss based way. Meal prep is critical. Why? Because it gets people to be conscientious now of the foods they're eating and gets them involved in that process of getting the food prep, knowing what's going into those particular meals. Normally, I just say prep one meal, like lunch or whatever the case is, and then move them up from there. I've known individuals that have meal prepped 3 meals a day. And so they're prepping, sometimes 18 up to 20 meals for the week. And if that works for a client, then that's great. Generally, you're meal prepping, teaching people how to meal prep at least 1 meal a day. Okay. So individuals that meal prep tend to do much better when it comes to weight loss, body fat loss, than those that don't. Doesn't mean that you can't get a client to lose body fat. but meal prepping gets people focused and intentional about their food. Are you doing that? Heck, you can do it. You can do a Saturday class, a meal prep class, and spend 30 minutes and showing people this is what I do for my meal prep. Okay, are you doing that? That's the second thing, is you got to teach and you've got to educate. The other thing is time management when it comes to their food. Are they eating every 3 hours? You've got to at least teach and show, at least educate your clients on time management skills for food. Look, I'm not going to teach you time management for your life. Although I would say for some clients, probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Point is that I want to show them that you can, on a Sunday or a Saturday, or sometimes during a week, you can take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, less than an hour to prep all your meals for the week. Okay. The other thing about time management that you deal with is, when are you eating? How much are you eating? Okay. That's why that time management also comes down to shakes. I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to the quickest, easy way to get a nutritious meal into your body, okay, is through shakes. And when we talk about shakes, I'm not talking about a protein drink. I'm talking about protein with the other food items that go into a full meal. So some sort of carbohydrate, greens, quite often I'll throw even walnuts into a shake, flax seeds into a shake. Those are the type of things that you can help your clients, and you got to teach them and educate them on this, and perhaps even show them how to do it. I've had clients who go, I don't even go into my kitchen. You got to go into your kitchen. You probably got a blender. You got to do so. Again, teach, educate. It's a lot more on this that we can go into. And then, of course, the third thing is what? Accountability, goals. You got goals for your clients. 2, are you teaching and educating them how to actually do this? And then, of course, the third part follows on all this, which is the accountability. All right, you need to clarify exactly what accountability means to your client. You are paying me money. I am training you. I'm showing you the proper ways to exercise, but that's not why you pay me. That's only one part of you pay me to help you resolve the issue that you are having, that you came in here for. And that resolution is anything from, I've got diabetes. My doctor told me I need to get my blood sugar under control and I need to exercise. That's a problem. I'm going to help you resolve that. It could be, I'm just trying to lose 50. I got to lose weight, man. I got to get rid of I got to get rid of the gut. Okay. Well, clarify that. Make sure that in your goals section, you have clarified that. That's what you're going to hold them accountable to. What is accountability? It's a relationship. Sometimes it's a handshake relationship. Sometimes they sign and they say, okay, yeah, you can call me out when I don't do the things I'm responsible for. Remember, accountability is about holding somebody accountable for the things they're responsible for. Okay. Accountability is always a relationship. You're responsible for something, and I am going to hold you to that task. And if you don't do it, I got to let you know. And I need to help you then to figure out why you can't do what you're responsible for, and perhaps assist and educate in how to actually do it. So it needs clarity. You need to clarify what it is you guys are accountable for. I am not accountable for certain things with you. My accountability with my client is on their nutrition, what they're eating, when they're eating, how they're eating, perhaps even the methodology for them to get the food. And look, I can hold them accountable for their meal prep if they agree to that. MyFitnessPal is an app. I will say this, that probably the single most important thing you can do for accountability is actually see what they're eating on a regular basis. This can be, now, by the way, out of 30 clients that you may have in a small group scenario, 30, 40 clients you may have, you're only going to need to do stuff that I'm telling you right now, this non-compliance, with maybe a quarter of them, perhaps half. I don't know, something like that. But even if it was all of them, if you have everybody on MyFitnessPal, you can actually look. And by the way, if you don't know what MyFitnessPal is, myfitnesspal.com, you need to go in. It is a calorie food planner. It's an accountability app that I use with clients. They put all their foods in. By the way, if you know it already, you should be using it. Remember, you have your client they open up their food diary to you. This way you can go in and look at it. It's also just a great social media platform as well. I mean, MyFitnessPal is a social media platform, so you can communicate back and forth. If you don't want to deal with, Facebook or whatever, you can actually use the MyFitnessPal app as your total usage for social media communication. So MyFitnessPal is a great accountability tool. And what's the other thing? Personality type. Look, we use the ABCD personality profiling type of scenario. The goal with personality type is it's really designed to do one thing: help you to communicate with your client so you can hold them accountable in an effective way. Keep in mind, if I'm an A-type personality, or if I'm a B, whatever I am, or D-type personality, I feel most comfortable communicating with people in a certain way. I don't want to talk to people, guide people, instruct people, hold them accountable in a way that I'm not comfortable with. So if I know my personality type, I'm a D personality, so I want to assist and help people. But if I've got an A-type personality client or B-type personality client, you got to make sure, this is critical, that when you're holding them accountable, you are doing it in a way from a communication perspective that works for them. A-type personalities, they're straight to the point. If I start to talk and I have a conversation with a very strong A-type personality client, that's going to turn them off, and they're simply not going to follow along with what I'm trying to help them to do. In that case, A-type personality, me, D-type, no, I'm going to be very clear, very straightforward with them, period. It's simple. This is what you have to do. Let's go ahead and get it done. The A-type will probably look and go, fantastic. Okay, you're right. I wasn't doing what I needed to do. I appreciate you coming and telling me that, Doug. And so personality type is critical when it comes to holding people accountable, because remember, you have to be able to communicate effectively with these folks. So look, I hope this was helpful. Go back now, look at all of your clients, know their personality types. You can have them take a personality profile test. You shouldn't have to do that, however, okay? If you've taken the BDU course, you've already gone through the personality profile components. Really want you to dial that in. It is critical, not just from a sales perspective, but from a servicing perspective. Use the MyFitnessPal app. Make sure you're communicating effectively. Make sure the goals are set in place. Educate and teach. As always, we just want to make sure that you're successful in your personal training endeavors. Go out and help your clients. It is so critical that they know that you're there to assist and help. Look, if you like the content, you like these videos, please subscribe. And just let us know how we can help and assist you. Go ahead and click the notification button so that you are sure to know when the videos are coming out. Again, it's my pleasure to serve you guys. We are here to help you at Body Design University. Have a great day. See you.